Now looking at the importance of completing search documentation, not necessarily for premises, but for individuals or all searches that are carried out. So keeping a detailed record of searches helps protect the staff that carried out the search against complaints and allegations of impropriety. So all searches, whether specific or random, for a person, property or vehicle, must be accompanied by the correct documentation. The style and content of the documentation may differ from assignment to assignment, but it needs to be completed and retained every time a search is conducted. So an accurate record demonstrates consistency and professionalism and can help rebuff any false allegations of misconduct. So completing records will assist you in the following ways. So it ensures compliance with search policies, identifies reasons for individual searches, protects security staff against malicious allegations, protects the person being searched, and acts as evidence in criminal proceedings. So examples of search documentation could include a security search record, a record maintained by the security officer detailing specific searches conducted, things like daily search logs, which is a cumulative log that records all searches conducted over a specific period, so example, daily or weekly, and then of course, incident report log, which documents any incidents that occurred during the search. It could have things like a seizure log, which documents all items that are seized during a search, including details about the circumstances of the seizure and the hand of the items, and then a handover log. And so the handover log records the transfer of responsibilities and is vital information between security personnel, ensuring their continuity and clear communication regarding searches and incidents. And so that would be the case of, imagine handing over an item or a bag of items to the police, they'll assign to Sedico. It's also just worth to note as well about the search documentation for every single search. Now, that's going to vary from policy to policy. And if you're working as a security officer, quite often that will be within the assignment instructions whether you need to do so. But consider as a door supervisor, they sometimes can be, performing hundreds of searches on an evening. And so sometimes it may just be a record of just roughly how many people that he searched. But of course, if anything is found, then that's where definitely that it does need to be recorded, and sometimes search refusals depended on. So, for example, if you're working at a high profile venue where people may pay thousands of pounds a year to have that annual membership, if the person is refused entry and they're turned away based on refusal of search, then that would give an example of when it should be documented. Search authorization and consent forms. Working as a security officer, they will often have formal documents that authorizes the search and includes consent from the individual being searched, and both the security officer and the person being searched has got to sign that, and it needs to be countersigned so they did accept it being a search. In addition, things like vehicle search logs. So that's a specific record for documented searches conducted on vehicles. So in general, documentation should consist of the following. Okay, so types of search, whether it's a person, property, or a vehicle. So date and time of the search. So when it was actually conducted, and the location of search, so the exact site of where the search took place, the name of the security officer, so obviously the person who conducted the search, names of any witnesses present, the reason for the search, so the justification for conducting the search, whether it is random, specific or general, the duration of the search, so how long roughly it took, the condition of the items found, so a brief note of any items that were discovered, and then any follow-up actions, so any subsequent actions required after the search. So, for example, if it's security, there's an employee being refused to be searched, or they were searched, then that information would then need to be followed up in a report book, spoke to line manager, spoke to HR, etc. And then finally, any other comments, so includes things like the results of the search, details of the fines and refusal, etc. So back with my security hat on again. So more specific to security officers, so the name of the person being searched or the owner of the vehicle, so it belongs to. If it is a vehicle being searched, the vehicle type and the registration, so relevant details if applicable. Then the name of the person's company relevant, so the company associated with the individual being searched, and that's either whether it's an employee or a tradesperson coming in. The name of the person's contacts, the contact information for the person being searched or the owner's vehicle, and a signature to document consent. So also documentation should be securely filed and collated, as it may be later required as evidence in a court of law. So thorough documentation is vital to ensuring accountability, professionalism, and safety in the search process.